Hi, I'm Marc Stevens, author of Government Indicted and Adventures in Legal Land. The website, of course, marcstevens.net, where we're working to bring it about a voluntary society, one visitor at a time. I host a radio show, of course, the No State Project, which is live every Saturday from 4 to 7 Eastern Standard Time, 1 to 4 on the West Coast. And we are on LRN.FM, the Liberty Radio Network. And just want to give you an update regarding a complaint that I filed, let's see, against Gerald Wilhelm. And I have there he is. That's the guy. Now, he's been an attorney since 1973, and he works at the U.S. Attorney's Office, and he filed a false complaint, and I filed a complaint against him for professional misconduct because he's suborning perjury, because he's allowing an agent for the IRS, the professional liar, Jeffrey Wagner, the Bloomington office, where I have an early video discussing that, where what the IRS does, and with this man's, and this man directed the professional liar, Jeffrey Wagner, to do an affidavit where he claimed that a question of evidence was actually, in fact, a frivolous argument. And weeks, and I had requested them to cite where the IRS and the courts had determined that a question was, in fact, an argument, and frivolous at that. Couldn't do it. And so this man, basically, he directed a false affidavit to be filed alleging that a question of evidence is, in fact, now an argument. And he's also making arguments outside the facts and evidence, which is what my complaint was about, to the Bar Association and to the Inspector General's office for the U.S. Attorney's Office, which we know this is, it's ridiculous. They're not going to, they very rarely go after one of their own unless they're sleeping with somebody's wife or they're banging the secretary and they get caught. But for really bad violations, such as professional misconduct where they're making arguments outside the facts and evidence and suborning perjury, not so much there that they're interested in that. So what I was able to show and what I put in was that this man told me on the phone that he would present his evidence of jurisdiction in court. I was in court at the St. Paul District Court on December 11th, and when the magistrate had requested the evidence that he had, he said he had nothing to offer, and this last hearing he said he would stand on his motions, but there's nothing in the motions or his paperwork to show any kind of evidence or facts that the Constitution and Code apply if there's any jurisdiction. And not only that, Mr. Wilhelm failed to present anything with his petition is nothing but a prayer for relief. He doesn't actually present any kind of cause of action. He doesn't set forth the violation of a legal right, and he doesn't set forth any damage, which injuria at damnum. If you go to marcstevens.net and you go to the standing cross-reference, you'll see that to have standing to complain and for the court to acquire subject matter jurisdiction and even personam jurisdiction, there has to be a valid cause of action because Article 3, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution, even though it's just public relations nonsense and garbage, it's not true, but that's the PR, says that they are supposed to have, the jurisdiction of the federal court is only limited to cases and controversies arising under the Constitution and the United States Code and treaties. So to have a valid cause of action there, the Constitution and Code must be applicable, and there has to be the violation of a legal right and damage. So go to marcstevens.net. You can go under any one of these. I guess you can also go under the project. If we go to the traffic study, you can get the standing cross-reference. You can prove it there. A lot of cases to prove that. So I got this in the mail this week. Where is it now? I got to go back. Yes, I got this. This is the determination that discipline is not warranted without investigation. Again, the easiest way to prove that Mr. Wilhelm here, that this guy is a liar and that he's making arguments outside the facts and evidence, and his argument is that the Constitution and laws of the United States apply to somebody I'm working with, all he has to do is present the evidence. All we have to do is look at his actual petition, and we won't see any evidence of that. You see argument, but you won't see any actual evidence, and you won't see the three elements of a cause of action. That's the extent of the investigation. You don't even have to talk to this guy. Okay, so they are going to deny it. And he says, complaint summary. You are a journalist and are interested in a case where David Wilhelm represents the United States. You state you confronted Mr. Wilhelm outside the courtroom, and Mr. Wilhelm overreacted to your questions. You also state Mr. Wilhelm is being dishonest by refusing to reveal the evidence he has regarding the litigation in which you are interested. Well, and then they come down. Reasons for decision not to investigate. I like this. I highlighted part of it. The program I used to scan this, it doesn't allow me to highlight more. But anyway, Mr. Wilhelm, this is again the reason not to investigate. Mr. Wilhelm does not have a duty under the Minnesota Rules of Professional Conduct to respond to questions from journalists. Therefore, no investigation will be conducted. Well, if an attorney is rude or uses harsh language or exhibits bad manners, such conduct would fall short of the profession's best standards. However, such conduct ordinarily would not violate a rule of professional conduct and would not be subject to discipline unless in extreme cases. Yeah, the guy overreacted, and I could have spent the night in jail, or I could have been tased or shot. So putting my life at risk, not such a big deal for these people because, of course, they're psychopaths. They have no respect for human life. Anyway, the important thing here that I want to point out is that whether Mr. Wilhelm has a duty under the rules to respond to questions from journalists is completely irrelevant to the issue that he is being dishonest and has suborned perjury. So what they do is they conveniently set up a straw man argument that I didn't even raise so that they can knock it down. And I did. Yeah, I have appealed. I've done that. I did the appeal to that. I got it mailed out today, so. We don't have to go through that, but I point out that this is a straw man that they've knocked. It's a logical fallacy. Let's just build up an argument or a position that Marc did not raise, so that we can easily reject it, and that's what they did. So I point that out. So the decision not to investigate is based off of a straw man, an argument or a position that I did not raise. Now, if they want to come out and tell the truth that it is not a violation of the rules of professional conduct to lie and to raise issues or make arguments that are outside the facts and evidence, let them just say that. But so far, whenever these people, let's see who did this. Patrick R. Burns, the first assistant director, and it's in the St. Paul office of the Office of Lawyer Professional Responsibility, they don't want to come out and just say what they really mean. So that's why they have to do this ridiculous, this garbage here where, let's just set up a straw man and then say and then we can reject the complaint. So more dishonesty from these people called lawyers. But hey, what the hell can you expect? They're lawyers. All they know how to do is lie, and lie again. And they're going to protect their own, such as this guy, Mr. Wilhelm, who is about as dishonest a lawyer as they come. And again, so what I do to summarize is, and when I put in my appeal, I said, look, all you need to do to show that this guy over here is a liar is look at his petition. Just look at the publicly available documents, and you'll see he filed a prayer for relief. There's no valid cause of action set forth. You don't even have to ask them to point it out, which a real investigation would do that. So that's that, and all they have to do is look for the actual facts showing that the Constitution and laws apply, and if there's any jurisdiction over the guy. But hey, I'm not holding my breath for that. But I let everybody know what kind of response I get from this. My name is Marc Stevens, and the website, of course, marcstevens.net. Remember, if you have a problem with what I have presented on this video, or anywhere on marcstevens.net, if you have facts and evidence that you can prove something that this guy can't, if you can actually show what this guy can't, and I mean evidence, facts that show the Constitution and U.S. Code apply to somebody, just because they're physically in this part of North America, which we call the United States generally, or in the lay sense, then please feel free to call the radio show 218-632-9399 and present your evidence. I would love to hear it. But just like when it comes to this guy, this Wilhelm guy, he has no evidence. He's not interested in discussing it. And I doubt that anybody will be able to call into the radio show and present evidence that the Constitution and laws apply to anyone.